The following podcast is recorded and produced by Emerge, a media creators co-op, in affiliation with the network at bicbp-radio.com.
Welcome to the Support Local Everything podcast, a podcast of the Upward Niagara Chamber of Commerce. I'm Chamber President Jennifer Pauly, and we are here on a Monday, and it feels like the Mondays today. We were just talking with our guest, Kathy, that, wow, we were both up early. I just screwed up our first take on this, so, it's one of those days. But we're excited because we are continuing on our year of supporting local everything. And last year, this grew out of growing business and community, which was an important topic for the year. And as our board was shaping and thinking about how 2024 was going to look, we started in November with the Support Local Everything campaign. And with that idea in mind, it's to really make sure that we bring that focus back to small business and the businesses that support our main streets, center streets in each of our communities that we represent. And so we're so happy to have Kathy Pignatora, who is the owner of Inspirations on Canvas, here in studio with us. I told her this was going to be nice and casual, very easy, low key, and I screw up the first 10 seconds that we did this. But before we get into meeting Kathy, I'm just going to give you a little bio on her. She was born and raised in Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario, and now we can call her our own. So even though she was born, just across the river, she's ours now. She is ours.
I didn't go very far, did I?
No, that's good. Just a hop, skip, and a jump away.
Sort of fell in the river and floated across, yeah.
She was fortunate enough to be raised in a loving environment surrounded by theater and arts, which is very evident in her shop. And after moving to the United States, she started her journey into adulthood, working in the world of assisting at-risk children and families in need. Her life detoured in an unexpected way over to Center Street in Lewiston. Mm-hmm. And never in a million years would she have ever thought that she would become a popular artist selling her beautiful pieces in the quaint little village of Lewiston. And so we are so happy to have Kathy here because she has such a unique story and a unique business. And we are going on an anniversary month coming up in just a few days, actually, to celebrate everything that she has done. So welcome, Kathy, to our podcast.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here. Thanks for asking.
So happy. So I remember when Kathy called our office and said she was, a new business in town and opening up this great art store. And it was so funny because we had a mutual friend, my friend Nicholas Azzarello, who I went to college with, and he had called me before you called and said,
It's a crazy story because a night or two before we chatted, he had been in to see my husband, who is his chiropractor. And Nicholas and I are also dear friends as well. He's such a great guy. And I said, hey, did you hear back from your friend about any possible spots? Because, boy, it's hard to get onto Center.
It is.
That is a desirable area. And as we were speaking, I don't even think I got that whole sentence out. It went ding. And his phone went ding, I should say. And it was you.
Yep.
So serendipity, I'll tell you what, it was just meant to be. And the rest is history. So it's all your fault, actually.
It is. Yeah. It's my fault. Yeah. But that is pretty much how things work.
It is.
It's networking.
Timing.
It's who you can talk with to get the things done. Mm-hmm. And it happens at the right time when it's supposed to happen.
Absolutely.
So tell us, when is the exact date of the anniversary?
It's sort of fluid because I noticed I wouldn't know what was happening in my world or my history if I didn't have Facebook to tell me every day the memories of what happened, 1 year ago, 7 years ago. But it was 7 years ago today I posted. I must have signed the lease the night before. And I was posting, I had a picture, because before me it was Devolio's.
It was.
And so I had that picture. It's up today, like you could see it on my memory today from 7 years ago. So then I did like a soft opening. And so it kind of happened I was open a little bit in February and then definitely in March I was open. But 7 years, I can't believe it.
7 years. And every year she does do a nice celebration of that, of that weekend that you had an opening. And, it's exciting to celebrate that 7 years ago.
I usually do it because it's between February and March. But my daughter and I are going to South Korea soon. So I'm going to be pushing it I'll be doing an event on that where we have a sale and some celebration and, drinks and treats and things like that. But it'll be into March, so I hope people will look out for that and come by and say hey.
Absolutely. So how did you make the decision to have your shop? First of all, how did you come up with that decision to, I'm going to open a shop and it's going to be focused around the art that I create and it's going to be in Lewiston? Tell us the story behind that of 7 years ago, how that all came about.
I mean, it's always a journey, right? And if you look back, I think so many things can happen in your life that you don't seem to mean anything at the time. And then when you look back in hindsight and the dots connect. And I think growing up in Niagara-on-the-Lake, as you said in my bio, that I was really influenced by theater with Shaw Festival and just the arts and just what I was surrounded by. And looking back, I adored one artist in Niagara-on-the-Lake. Her name was Angie Strauss. And I used to spend so much time at her store. It was just, I don't know, it drew me. And I'd go there and I'd hang out and I'd just sort of watch. And I have so many memories of that. And I didn't think you could make a living being an artist, or I could. And it wasn't something that was a focus on my life at the time. And, things just sort of have a path. Basically, I started off doing fiber arts, so cross-stitch, crewel work, things like that. And I was going to school and running a foster care agency, working on my master's degree and all of that. And that was sort of, my art became kind of a side gig, okay, the side hustle, so they say. So something in me, I listened to sort of I have an inner voice, or I don't know. I hear people kind of telling me, push this way or push that way. And I listen. So the voice said, get some canvas. And I said, okay. And that was when my daughter was probably about a year to 18 months old. She's the last of 4 that I've had. And so I took the leap from fiber art to I paint on canvas with acrylic. I mean, I paint on other things now too, but mainly on canvas. And it just went from there. And then that's where it became sort of a side hustle. Eventually, my husband is, as I mentioned, a chiropractor. He wanted to put my paintings up in his waiting room, in his office, which at first I was horrified because I'm like, that's like putting your soul out there. It's a big leap. So he convinced me. I said, okay, I'll try a couple. Well, people wanted to buy them.
Of course.
And I couldn't believe it. And I'm like, wait a minute, ding, ding, ding. This could fund my hobby. So I'm like, sure. So that's where it started, and just over years. And I would say until 2017, when I started the shop, something really kind of magical happened 6 months leading up to it, where it was a business. Like I needed a location. I was selling out of his office like crazy, doing commissions, all of that. And, also over the years, I've done things through his office, like selling soap or jewelry, or so in his waiting room. He's always had there was something always there that I would have, like it said in the bio, I would have just not believed you, 15 years ago if you would have said, oh, you're going to be an artist in Lewiston with a shop. And so I followed sort of the signs, so to speak.
Yeah.
I felt the pushes and I followed them and I listened to those instincts and I go for it. Cautiously, carefully, but planfully. Mm-hmm. And I knew a village like Lewiston could handle a shop like I envisioned. And going back to what I used to see with Angie Strauss, I mean, it started with just her art, and then it became on clothing, and then she had other gift items and all that. So I kind of, honestly, I owe her a big thanks for also modeling really creative ways of getting your creativity out
what
there.
Could be done.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great thing to have an inspiration. It's a great thing to have somebody or a business that you can look to and see, wow, they did it. I can do it. It's such an inspiration to be able to have
Hence
that.
the name Inspirations on Campus.
Oh, what a tie-in.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. That is. Yeah,
So
that makes sense.
she was huge. Of course, I'm surrounded by, I have a really loving, great family, and they just have supported me and helped me and continue to. And, I just feel like I'm living my best life. Like, I loved what I did, working with the families. But this is better. It really is. And I think I'm putting happiness out there. It may be just some art to some people, but I hope that my art just makes people feel good. I think my niche is definitely like home decor. And it's really a nice feeling to have someone come in and either receive a commission piece they'd ordered or find something on the wall. I do think I paint things for people. And when they find it and that connection happens, it's really, really rewarding. And it's all my therapy, to be honest with you. People are just really funding my mental health. I'm better when I'm painting.
But that's the best of both worlds. You
Right.
get to do something that you love, and you get to create joy and happiness for the person who's buying it.
Yeah.
They're purchasing it for
Right.
a certain reason, or they're inspired as well. You have, it's expanded that shop to not just have your paintings and on canvas, like you had mentioned, but you have your painting on other things. I know
Yeah.
I have note cards of yours. And tell us a little bit more about some of the expansions that you've created over the years and to sell in your shop. It's definitely based on a lot of unique and creative things that you have a customer in mind for.
Well, it's a journey, and I'm always adding. I want each time someone comes in my shop for it to be a bit like some things to be expected, like, oh, when I go to Kathy's, I can get pig pillows. It's a thing.
It is. It is a thing.
Kathy Pignatora, the pigs are a thing. But, it's just there's so many ways to get your art out there now. And I thoroughly enjoy, and honestly, the main thing, my focus, I think, would be, my art on canvas. So different sizes and whatnot. And I'm selling on average about 500 pieces a year. And my goal is to make it affordable. And then what's come out over the years is there's different ways for artists to express their art. And I think you got to do business smart. So I can use one image of a piece that I've done, put it on digital, and do so many things with it and share that with other people too. And when you start seeing your art, not just on canvas, but then you see it on pillows or blankets. So I've gone into like a home decor aspect of it too. And maybe somebody doesn't have a wall to put a 36 by 48 on, but they really need a cute little pillow or two to kind of put a little pop in their room. That's what I've gone with. And I listen, and it comes out of like, oh, these would be really cool beyond just cards and prints, but to put it on all these different things that you can now when you find a really good printer and you can really recreate that piece in a fun other way. It's really fun. It's just, that's just sort of evolved over the 7 years. And then I've always had other gift items too, because I think going back to, you have to be a smart business person.
You do.
You have to diversify. I've got soaps, but like my husband and I have sold our soaps for 20 years, I think. And I have a friend that I get estate sale jewelry from that, and it just sort of my store is just what Kathy likes, and I'm Kathy. So you can't sell what you don't believe in.
You have to believe in
and
it.
so I believe in what I'm putting out, and not everybody wants a painting, but maybe they like some estate jewelry that I can also. My motto also is to make affordable anything, and that I think is what's gotten me through. We've had some bumps in the roads over the past few years and made some challenges, but people came to Lewiston. They did.
Excuse me, and I think you were able to provide what people wanted. You're able to have price points in different aspects of purchase power, whether it be something for 50 cents, like I think your stickers are 50 cents.
Yeah, buy one, get one free right now.
There you go, even less than that, up to
Who knew those would take off? I mean,
your wall paintings that, can take up a whole wall. There's something for everybody there at the shop.
And now I've been doing furniture. Over the last year, I brought that back again, painting furniture. I've done some commission furniture even. I'm just pretty open to the path and just see where it takes me and not be afraid, and just give it a try. And okay, this works, that doesn't work. But you got to kind of throw it at the wall and see what sticks. And then what sticks, I'll keep going with and evolving those things. I never want to stay the same. I want to keep evolving. I think that's important.
It is. That is so important.
Yeah.
You do commission pieces. You had mentioned that. I know you have painted my coworker's horse. You've painted dogs. You've painted pretty much anything.
Geckos. I've painted geckos. Yeah, I do pet portraits. Those have been very popular. We all love our pets. Maybe, unfortunately, maybe more than our kids sometimes. But not you.
No.
Not my daughter's here. Not Olivia. But I'm saying some people. But we do love our pets. So I've done more of those than I have of anyone's children. But those have been really, especially around like holidays,
Right.
Christmas and birthdays.
Commemorate memories. And
And then just, commission pieces, because you can see on my walls, and I put together a book of pieces I've done over even the last couple of years, and they can look back. It's all on my social media, but just to be able to have something visual to give someone, if they're looking for ideas to help inspire them. I'm just always thinking of ways to I always want to say yes to someone that comes in. Like I have one thing, and my joke is I have this really great pretend sink that I have my soaps in. I won't sell that for the life of me because it's just a great piece. And that's nothing I've made. It's just an example of in my shop. Someone comes in and they'll say, out of the whole shop, they want to buy that sink. I've got 50,000 other things, but that sink. So I don't say no. I say yes, but it's $500,000. You just can't. I don't want to say no.
Right.
Someone might take me up on that offer.
They might one day. They'll walk in
I'll
and
even
say,
give it at a
getting
discount.
it.
So it's really just coming up with lots of ways to say yes.
And in that segue, you've also said yes to a few different other things this year.
Yes.
And we just mentioned before that you've been here 7 years. You've gone through a pandemic, so you've had to change and adapt over the years.
Pivot.
That word pivot is something that small business owners have had to do time and again.
Yes.
Time and again. And the one thing that I've noticed this year is you take a plan and you run with it. So a new thing you've been offering is some paint classes in your shop, and they've been very successful so far. I believe you've sold out the first one, and three of them. Three of them are sold out.
And another one's coming up. That's almost sold out now. It's something, I guess, in the beginning I did offer the poured painting classes. And then that became difficult because I had the space at the time, and then I kind of changed the layout of the shop. And it's also, that building is over 100 years old. So when you do poured paintings, they really need a good flat surface. And it was hard to find that. In that, like even on a table on the floors, you can tell if there's been water and someone comes in with snowy boots and it just
goes a different way. Yeah.
And that became a little stressful, like whether or not because it would stay and dry for several days. Your mom,
Yes.
we've all, It's a scary thing. Every time someone came in and be like, oh, I hope this, and it props things up, but then I go away for the night and come back and you just hope it doesn't all pour over. So I ended up stopping those just because it was logistically not the best idea. I didn't want to become a paint night place, okay? Because some people would walk in and they ask all the time, because I've got all this artwork in there, and I always get asked, now how many artists are in here? And I'm like, just one, but there's about 5 different personalities going on here. But that sometimes they would interpret what was going on in my shop as, oh, is this a paint night place? And I do want to be taken as a serious artist. As much fun I hope that my pieces are, it's serious to me. It means it's my soul,
Definitely.
So I was a little hesitant on, do I want to do that? And I, again, logistically didn't have the space for what I had going on in my shop. The winter months are a challenge. They were in Niagara, like I know this coming into it. I worked in the town growing up, and coming over here, I knew it was the same. So each winter, you put on your armor, and you get through it. And I've gone through 7. Now we're going into 8.
It's
winters.
tough.
It's tough. It's kind of lonely.
It's lonely
sad.
if there's one little thing of rain or one little thing of wind or one snowflake, it stops traffic. It
or
is
a football
very hard.
game or a Super Bowl or any of that affects us.
It is.
And it really is a test of perseverance. And it's what makes you strong. And so I decided this year, when I was thinking about, I really do follow through on resolutions, and I'll just say they're goals for the year. And so I came up with a word for 2024 was going to be adventure, which we're having a big one coming up when I go to South Korea. That's mind-blowing to me that I'm going to be on the other side of the world. But when it came to my job, my passion, I don't want to think about winter like that anymore. So when you can't control something, you can only control how you respond to something. In that, I said, what can I do? Someone reached out to me from one of the Sentinel articles at Niagara-Wheatfield and asked if I'd teach a class there. And I said yes. And I want this year to be a year of yes. And so I am doing that on Wednesday the 7th still a few openings in that from 7 to 9 that night. And it's a paint your pet night with me. I'm going to teach people how to paint their pet. But I also thought maybe it's time to revisit that and bring some energy and positivity into my shop. And I sell these bottles and wine and little stemless wine glasses. And I'm like, that would be fun for people. And lo and behold, like we said, there's been 3 full. One was a private party, 2 were actual classes that I offered, and now I have a 3rd one coming out. I cannot believe the response to that. And we have, just to sort of announce out there, when I come back from South Korea into March, I'll have dates before. I'm going to post them in the next week or 2 for birdhouses.
Everyone's fun.
Yeah.
For spring?
Yes.
Oh, that would be great.
So I already have everybody that has come. I kind of canvassed the idea of, what do you guys think of this idea? I think they're all coming back for that, and the private party wants to come back for another private party for that. So it's kind of blown my mind, and I'm joking, and like when I talk to anybody, like, why did I wait so long? But it is timing.
It's the timing. This was the right time to do this. I think your store has really evolved in so many different ways just over the 7 years and what you've been painting and what you offer, that this was the next step.
I agree.
This was it.
I think, I just don't think I was ready or had that direction, or I wouldn't have ever have thought, because the paint nights were paint nights, and it was a certain painting. And I'm untrained. I'm self-taught. So I didn't feel qualified to even teach that. But now I've been 7 years in. And the other thing about the timing is now people know me. I've put the time in and been there through, if I say I'm there, I'm there.
You are.
And they know me. And now they come see me for gift items or whatnot. So now I have the audience to be able to promote that. And maybe 5 years ago, they would have been like, who's that? So, and I have relationships with people. Like, I never think, I had 2 gals, I saw 2 people yesterday on a Sunday. But there's some of my regulars. I think we talked for an hour. Like, that's the relationships that matter.
That is.
And I enjoy.
That is something that you excel at as a business owner.
I enjoy it.
And you can tell you enjoy it. It brings people back. It makes repeat customers.
Totally.
They tell other people.
And it's genuine. Like, I don't, you don't realize, and maybe the pandemic taught me that too, and sometimes peopling is a lot. But then when there's no people, you suddenly go, wow, I really do need people for my own, fulfillment. And I really do. The 2 things I love about what I do is I get to paint, and I get to meet people from all over. Like Lewiston, I have art in Dubai to Australia. It's crazy to me.
To Sanborn, New York.
To Sanborn, New York. So
you do get people from all over the world in the Village of Lewiston. And to be able to say that your piece of artwork is in a different country.
It's exciting.
It's amazing. And you've had thousands of paintings. So to think about this, you've been fortunate enough to have thousands of paintings distributed throughout the world, not just the customers that come in through Center Street, throughout the world.
Right.
You've also been able to expand online as well, so people can find you in different ways. Mm-hmm. I also have to say she has the relationship building down to a science, not only in person but also on TikTok. She's the resident TikToker of Lewiston. I'm going to say that because it's a form of advertising that maybe 7 years ago you wouldn't have thought that you were going to do. It's social media, so social media has also evolved, but you have taken on your personality to move to an online platform that shows the true you.
I don't think I thought that mattered, Jen, before. Like, I just thought people just want to buy a piece for their home. So it didn't, that exchange and that sharing of who you are, it didn't occur to me that anybody cared about that it's me. Like, that just
the connection.
Yeah, so that was very humbling to make that connection and just be me. It's usually, I think I'm hilarious, so I like to do a lot of humor, and I like bringing a smile, hopefully, to someone's day. So my TikToks tend to be humorous. Sometimes I try to make them funny, but that's engaging, and the engagement is what I'm going for because I enjoy it. It feels good. Also, I realize now, like, people do want to know. And then if I think back to Angie Strauss again, she would just be at this shop, and it was like, oh, Angie's here. And I'll tell you what, like my kids, my husband, they are terrific on a day that they might fill in for me at the shop here or there. And it's people love the fact that, oh, your family, that, oh, you're selling your mom's art, whatever. That matters to people.
It does.
And if I'm there, and that's why I'll always be there, it's a whole other thing. Like that engagement and that presence is really important, and it connects people with your art. And I had no idea. That's part of this journey I'm talking about. I had no idea. Again, 5-7 years ago, I'm like, who cares? But TikTok started because of my daughter during, like for most businesses during COVID. We were just looking for things. We pivoted. And she's the one who got me on to, we called it TikTok Tuesdays. And we go in Tuesday, it was a purpose. You know, the shop was closed and we'd go in and we would just sort of bang out, I don't know, 5 or 6 TikToks and have them for the week. And just that's where it all started.
And it snowballed from there.
And then I realized the importance of it. I would say the online shopping has been it's oddly been a little bit less. I think the increased pricing of shipping has been...
it's a tough hurdle to get over.
It has been, but it was great before, and then the last year it's been a little different. But I keep doing it because
it's exposure still.
It's exposure.
It's
content.
You have to diverse your, you know,
Yes.
the way that you market and the way that you are put out in the world.
100%.
And that's something that you are able to do through your store on Center Street. You're able to be there in person and see what the customers need coming in, but you are able to reach people in a different medium when you are doing those great TikToks.
Thanks.
It's amazing. I love watching them because you are engaging, and you are right. You are the same person in store, in person, that you are on
Oddly,
those TikToks.
yes. Yeah. What you see is what you get.
It is so true.
Yep.
So one of the other things that I have to mention is, as we changed this format to support local everything, you are definitely a proponent and a business owner that we love because it's such a very central thing to your business is to make sure community happens.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the great things that you've been able to do is to influence some other businesses to, hey, let's get some things together. Let's do something to encourage some extra shopping or extra foot traffic on Center Street in those slower months that are tough.
Yep.
They just are tough all the way around. And so Sip, Shop, and Eat was something that you had come up with. This was all Kathy. Kathy and a few other people had really made this happen a few years ago.
I think we're on
5 years.
6, 5 years?
I think it's 5 years.
Yeah.
Regardless, it's been enough of a timeline
This
where
might be the 6th one.
it
I
has
think we
grown.
miscounted. Yeah.
6 years.
Because we did one right before COVID.
Right before.
And then,
Yeah, so COVID kind of
may have
screwed things
snuck
up.
one in there, yeah.
This event is a organic event that just happened from getting some businesses together saying, hey, will you partner with somebody or offer something in your shop for a weekend that is traditionally a slow weekend, and we'll get some raffle items together, we'll get some things together, people can win some items, and let's just do it. It's changed a few different dates throughout the year.
Yeah.
It's generally happening between February and March.
Much like my anniversary day. It's a very fluid time.
It's okay. It
Yeah.
depends on when,
Sometimes
when
you
we
got to
feel.
go on a trip or so. Yeah, you have to make it different.
So this year it is on Saturday, February 3rd,
Right.
and we've had some excellent gifts that have been turned in. There's a scavenger hunt. People can come and shop the village during the day. They can go and eat afterwards. Tell us how this event really started. It was really from you. You had gathered other people together, but tell us how it happened. It had to have been a moment where let's just do this. Let's figure something out.
I don't remember the exact moment, but it probably came out of a couple. There's one or two other, I would say, Laura from You and Me and Donna from Sgt. Pepper's, Neil's wife. We were looking for ideas to stir up some energy. It's sort of like the concept still like with my classes, like what can we do? We need things to look forward to. We have to have some hope to get through the darker months. And it just was a brainstorming. It's certainly, and it still continues to be hitting the pavement, and it's getting everyone involved. I guess my motto in life is when we all do well, we all do well. So if we're promoting something that 13 or 14 different businesses, shops, and then 4 or 5 different restaurants are promoting it, obviously we're going to have a better outcome and a win-win. Like certainly hey, I'm benefiting from this for sure. But I love the feeling it gives me to see events like this one or the trick or treat on Center Street. That just makes me almost cry every year. I just love that event, or the holiday kickoff. We've come up with these 3 events, one being the Sip Shop and Eat. That'll be this Saturday from 12 to 4, just to try to get some energy going and saying, hey, don't forget us small businesses, because we all do tend to hibernate in the winter. I get it. Like even on the Friday night classes when I have these paint nights, usually I'm home in my jammies at 7 and getting ready for bed at 9. Like I get it.
That dark weather.
It does.
Gloomy,
and we all
gray.
But like it just brings out so much good energy and positivity back to the community. There's no requirement to buy anything. At this event, it's evolved. You can speak on this. I think that you always have to look at events that are getting, that are going on annually and go, what do we need to tweak? What can we do better? In the past for the Sip Shop and Eat, we've done a punch card. And that's to generate the hope that people will go to 10 spots, get their card punched, and then sampling or whatever's going on at the particular business, whatever they're promoting or the sale they might be having, the visitor, the pop-up they might be having in their location. And it's to motivate people to go around and do that. The prizes are obviously the win for the folks that are visiting. So this year, I think we might be at 10 baskets at $100 each, which is great because, like, as of last week, it was questionable, but we got it going.
Listen, I've been
had to light a fire
with businesses one-on-one for 15 years.
Yeah.
Nothing's happening until the last minute.
Why is it always that? It doesn't have to be that.
I think it's just because businesses have so much that you're juggling so much as a small business owner. And you
So-
know it's there on the calendar, but, unless
It seems far away, and then it's like,
right.
it's next Saturday.
we need that stuff now. We need it now.
Yeah. So we've got that going on, and we hope people come out. It's going to be chilly. I keep watching it. You never know the day of. Typically in Lewiston, the sun comes out, and it's a perfect day. It does. We get really lucky. But even I remember one year when it was sloshy wet, maybe 2 years ago, everybody came out. It's a really fun event. You just walk around the shops, visit the locations. We're going to this year have a scavenger hunt rather than the punch cards. So there was some, we don't love this so much, so we're going to try this. And it seems fun. It's like, go and hunt down. And in each shop, they're going to have a scavenger hunt item. You just have to jot them down. You go to 10 of them, and then you bring them to a restaurant. None of these places you have to spend any money. Of course, we hope you do, but there's no requirement. And drop it off at one of the 4 participating restaurants. There's a Facebook page where you can see what most shops are offering, but just walk around. They'll be indicated by balloons, pink who's participating, and then the blue are the restaurants where you're going to drop off the forms. And you could win one of 10 prizes at about $100 value each. So what else is there to do?
It's great to have that. I know when we do Small Business Day or the Christmas Walk weekend, we have always encouraged businesses to offer a promotion or do some type of open house or have some type of treat. Do something, have a raffle, do something to encourage just something extra, some extra word of mouth, something to happen. And that's always been successful. So this weekend is a similar type of thing where a lot of businesses have maybe some small promotion, maybe not a discount, but there may be somebody else in their business or a special chance to win some prizes. I know I believe it's Sharia Moore is doing some discounts on some of her special items.
Everyone has something going on.
Antique to Chic has some raffles going on.
Correct.
There's something different everywhere.
Yeah, so it's a win-win for the public too. I'm going to have actually this year, my husband's coming in. Like I said, he's a chiropractor. He's going to be giving free consultations and a $25 adjustment. So great opportunity to try that out. He's just in Tonawanda, so it's a great way to, hey, if you've been thinking about taking better care of yourself, great opportunity. But everyone has something different going on. And when we've had the folks come around doing this year to year, that, middle of February or March, they're just sort of excited to I always hear, like, this is so fun, and I would have just sat home today. So it's just getting up and getting out, get some fresh air. And hopefully, like, the sun will be shining and it'll be a beautiful day.
It will. We always say it always is going to shine. You cannot, listen, as doing something with weather pretty much all the time at the chamber. We always just say you can't control the weather. It does control you sometimes,
Right.
but you cannot. You just have to do everything regardless of it. And I think you've given people a reason to get out on Saturday.
I hope so.
Reason to get their friends, their family, get out and have a good time with Sip, Shop, and Eat.
Yeah.
It's an important day to support local, support
Yeah.
the businesses that are
We're
here
excited
in our
about it,
community.
and we get energized when it's these winter months, and we're all looking forward to it. So it should
Definitely.
be a fun day.
So if you want more information, go to Facebook. There's a Lewiston Business Group page on Facebook. If you look there, click it, like it, follow it, and information is there. We have information on our website, upwardniagara.com. And a special thank you to the Tribune and Sentinel, who did a really nice article about Sip, Shop, and Eat, and all of the information is
Yeah.
there on WNY Papers as well. Very nice as a front page there, and our friend Josh Maloney always does a great job every year giving a
So
summary of
good
what's
to us
happening.
businesses. They're always really supporting us. We appreciate.
He's great. And Richie, good old Richie there is on the front. Richie owns Lewiston Estates and Antiques, a new shop on Center Street, and I know he's always excited to participate in things like this.
Yes,
So
I feel like he's going to be part of the committee. He's going to be with me on promoting some of
he's
these.
all in for
Yes,
everything.
I feel like it. So I'm like, good, fresh
Yeah.
meat.
Yes. Well, during our Christmas walk and our parade, I don't know if you were able to see Richie's float. It
Yes.
was
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. And there he was in his fur coat
Yep.
on the float, waving and just having such a great time. And he said he already has plans for next
Oh,
year.
but he does.
He does.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
He's my competition when we were doing the scarecrow thing. He took it. I was like, hey, I had to step it up.
Gets a thought in there and, runs with it.
Yes.
So, Kathy, we appreciate everything that you do for not only the Lewiston community, but the business owners as well on Center Street. I think that sometimes we forget that the backbone of business communities are the small businesses on the street and the business owners behind them. And we're so happy to have you in the village going on 7 years already. Looking forward to the next 7 more. Can't wait for one day to get a pet, to have you, paint my pet after the
Sure.
4 kids are out of the house.
Or a gecko. I've done.
Or a
I can
gecko.
do anything. Yeah.
A little bit of everything.
Yes.
We appreciate you taking the time to join us today on the podcast.
Thanks. And us businesses appreciate the chamber. We have a really strong business community in Lewiston. I hope others can jump and, realize the benefits of working with the chamber.
Definitely.
We are really stronger together.
We
truly.
are.
So I hope that continues for all of us too.
Well, thank you for joining us, and we hope everyone stops out to the Village of Lewiston on Saturday, February 3rd for Sip, Shop, and Eat. The weather's always shining in the Village of Lewiston. It's always a chamber day. We take credit for the good days. So we hope to see you. Find out more information on upwardniagara.com, or you can go to the Facebook page for the Lewiston Business Group. Click and like there and share the information. And as always, thank you for joining us once again on our Support Local Everything podcast.